The economic freedom fighters have confirmed the resignation of Dr Mbuyiseni Ndlozi as its Member of Parliament. This was revealed in a statement on Thursday in what the party termed as the voluntary resignations of Yazini, Tetyana and Dr Mbuyiseni Ndlozi as representatives of the EFF in Parliament. The party was rocked by high-profile exits following the 2024 national and provincial elections. It says the latest resignations were sent to the Secretary-General of the EFF consecutively and within days of each other. The EFF notes that it has accepted what it repeatedly describes as the respective voluntary requests from the pair to be released from deployment. Tetyana has served in the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature and Parliament, while Dr Ndlozi served in the National Assembly since 2014. The EFF wishes them well in their future endeavours. And as ANC leaders attend various party programs in the Western Cape ahead of the January 8th statement this weekend, there was a slight change in the party's deputy president's schedule. Let's get more details now. SABC News reporter Lulama Matya joins us live now. Lulama, good afternoon to you and thank you so much for your time. We'll start with the change in the ANC deputy president's schedule. Let's talk about that.
Good afternoon, Bongiwe and SABC viewers. Yes, according to the program that was issued by the ANC for its mobilization and build-up activities leading to the January 8th statement on Saturday, Deputy President Paul Mashatile was today scheduled to visit townships here in Cape Town. But today in the morning, when we made inquiries about exactly where he is going, what time, we wanted finer details on his whereabouts for today. We were told the provincial ANC chairperson, JJ Chalesisu, said that his program for today has been postponed or cancelled as he is traveling to KwaZulu-Natal, Bongiwe, because of the funeral of the late former Education Minister, Professor Sibusiso Pengu, who passed away recently. Tomorrow it's his funeral service. On Monday, President Cyril Ramaphosa declared special official funeral category 2 of Prof. Pengu. So even today, this morning, the presidency issued a media alert indicating that Deputy President Paul Mashatile will deliver eulogy at the funeral of the late Professor Sibusiso Pengu. That were the reasons that were given by the ANC in the province for the cancellation of his program for today. Bongiwe.
And Lulama, of course, you've been in Parliament for most of the time, and one of the developing stories out of there is the resignation of Mbuyiseni Ndlozi as Member of Parliament. Of course, there were serious moments where we would have seen him on the podium there delivering some salvos when it comes to some of his political opponents, but there were also some memorable times in the House.
Yes, indeed. Very memorable moments in the House. He's kind of a person who cracks jokes. His witty jokes. Some people are saying that Parliament will be poorer, the National Assembly will be poorer without him. His sense of humor. He earned himself the title of being a People's Bay. And that title, Bongiwe, I think it does not come easy, that you become a national bay. He was the bay of the country because of his sense of humor here at Parliament. I remember some few years ago when there was a debate in the House, a former DA MP, David Matya, who when he speaks, he would make gestures with his hands like he is a choir conductor or he's at an auction. And then Dr Mbuyiseni Ndlozi raised a point of order to former National Assembly Speaker Baleka Mbete, saying that we at an auction here. Point of order, Madam Speaker, are we at an auction here? Because I see the honorable member using his hands, making gestures as if we are at an auction. There were also moments whereby one of the State of the Nation address. We know that when it's a State of the Nation address, all members of Parliament dress up to impress, show up, because there is also a red carpet where they show their latest fashion. Former ANC MP Boy Mamabolo was wearing a black and white suit. So it was a debate in the House, and Boy Mamabolo stood up making a point of order, and Dr. Ndlozi say, point of order, this is not our perfect wedding. So referring to the suit that Boy Mamabolo was wearing recently when the opening of the 7th Parliament, it was the debate. The Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources, Gwede Mantashe, had his blazer. The buttons were not corresponding. They were upside down. Dr. Ndlozi noticed that, and he raised a point of order saying to the current speaker, Toko Didiza, that is it honorable, is it acceptable in the House for Minister Mantashe to wear his blazer like that? And you could see on the video Minister Mantashe fixing his blazer, which was not corresponding the buttons. So it was those moments. Years ago, again, when you were one of his jokes that he shared, it was when the country will remember that in one of the reshuffles of former President Jacob Zuma, the former Minister of Finance, Nhlanhla Nene, was said to be deployed to the BRICS Bank. So when he came back in Parliament as a Member of Parliament, on the first day that he was at Parliament, Dr. Ndlozi stood up and said, I want to welcome Honorable Nhlanhla Nene for coming back to Parliament from the BRICS Bank, and the House burst out laughing. Hence, some are saying that when it comes to his witty jokes and his sense of humor, the National Assembly is poorer with his absence. Although at the same time he was robust when he was debating, but he also had a sense of humor. One other time, South Africans will remember the former Minister of International Relations, Maite Nkoane Mashabane. She was in the House. Dr. Ndlozi picked up, we heard actually him standing up, raising a point of order, saying that the minister is sleeping in the House. You were sleeping on the job. How can you be sleeping on the job? So the House burst out laughing again in those instances. So yes, robust when it comes to debating, but he also has a great sense of humor that some of his former colleagues here at Parliament are saying that they will miss him for that.
And certainly, I just want to play some of the moments that you're talking about for our viewers, just so they can see what exactly are you talking about. Let's just bring up that clip.
Hotspots across the West.
Honorable Manier, please take your seat. What's point of order you standing?
Point of order. Are we in an auction here? Honorable member.
That is not a point of order.
It's not a perfect wedding. On what rule are you rising? On what rule?
Honorable Ndlozi, take your seat.
Lulama, my goodness, these were some of the moments. You know, one thinks about the fact that Parliament really came alive. But there were also moments when he was really raising some pointed, you know, points, especially when it came to issues that were very passionate for him.
Yes, indeed, Bongiwe. He was passionate about education. And even other members of Parliament also noticed that he was passionate about issues of education recently, as well as sports, arts and culture. He criticized the current Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture in the debate on the opening of the 7th Parliament. Gayton Mackenzie, when he was at the podium, he did not raise any issues that are relating to artists or sport when he was debating the opening of Parliament address. Dr. Ndlozi stood up saying that the minister has failed to look into the interest of the artist, because in his speech that he made, he never mentioned anything of that. Also, Bongiwe, some of the moments whereby he was critical, he listened to especially ministers when they were making statements. He once took on former minister, the late Minister of Communications, Yazini about a point that he raised in Parliament. He stood up and said that, no, you got it wrong. That is not the case. Please withdraw. And he would be firm on that when he wants someone who has made a statement that he says in the House is misleading. He was firm on that and would require that person to withdraw.
All right, Lulama. Certainly, we'll be reflecting on this particular story as well with Sandile Swana just after 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for just wrapping that for us and bringing some light-hearted moments there that would have taken place in Parliament. That's SABC News reporter Lulama Matya.